I'm going to show you, in my opinion, Denise Jones is here, is the disconnect between the old timers that came through the NFL and the current landscape that we are in. Exhibit A, Cris Carter on First Things First reacting to Earl Thomas's injury. Take a look.
Now, he's been in this dispute with the team over getting a contract extension, but the truth of the matter is Seattle's the one who drafted him. They're the one who put those other defensive players around them so that he can create the legacy that he has. The Seattle Seahawks has made him rich. Now, I don't know what they did to deserve that, but that's just not the way to go out. It's not about Seattle anymore, Earl. That's your brand. It wasn't the Seattle Seahawks. That was Earl Thomas. It's not going to be an indictment on the organization. The coach tried to play it off. It's a big stadium. Bobby Wagner talked after the game saying, you know, it's an emotional game. And sometimes people act emotionally. You have to give them a chance to act emotionally. But this is bad for his brand. All right? Earl, you're bigger than that. Football's been good to you. Seattle's been good to you. All right? Don't get caught up in the business of it. All right, he's upset they didn't sign him to a contract extension. That's part of the business. You ain't the only one that didn't get a contract extension, but you can always, it only takes this much. And the difference between class and ASS, it's a big difference.
So let me make this very clear. And then Denise, I'd love for you to react. Is Cris Carter calls games for the NFL every single Sunday.
Right.
What I hear from him is the rhetoric that the hierarchy of NFL owners want him to say. This is called being a puppet, not a free thinker. We see this with Jason Witten every single Monday. The Le'Veon Bell situation, guess what side he took? The owners. You know why? Because they're not biting the hand that feeds them. This is politicking 101. I understand it, but it's why you don't go to them if you want to hear the honest stuff. Because Cris Carter, no matter what happens, knows damn well that this is not about, well, the Seahawks have been good to you, and you're just doing it for your brand, and you're being an ASS, which, by the way, spell it out. But on top of this, Rex Ryan then goes on ESPN and spews continued nonsense. Take a look.
It's unfortunate, but you know, when you put your name on that contract, you got to man up and play to that contract, okay? But, you know, did they do them wrong, whatever? No, this team has their future is about we're rebuilding, and our future is going to be without Earl Thomas. I hated the fact he went out like this, because this is a guy that's going to be in the Ring of Honor. He's going to be a Hall of Famer for, you know, possibly in the real Hall of Fame, but also in the stadium. So to me, I hate that he went out like this, but make no mistake by it, nobody owes you anything in this league.
Again, I understand what they're saying. I understand what they're saying. No one owes you anything in this league. Well, actually, you're the one busting your ass every single Sunday. Every single player who I've spoken to, it's true. Everything that we've read, it is like a car. It's like you had several car crashes getting out of bed the next day. They're putting their bodies on the line, don't have guaranteed contracts. What I would expect out of a former player, albeit a great player like Cris Carter and a former coach like Rex Ryan, who has had success, is to stick up for their own players, their fellow players. But remember, with all of this, within every situation, whether it's sports, whether it's music, whether it's politics, there is always going to be the politicking that goes on to appease the one that is paying them so they don't bite the hand that feeds them.
Exactly. A fake moral shaming game.
Completely.
And these former players like Cris Carter should know all about it. It shouldn't come as something that's brand new. And the fact that, you know, some of these former players that are turned into commentators fall into this, you know, not brand new trap of fake moral shaming is interesting, just because it's such a bad take in his opinion. We trust on these former players to give us that raw, authentic player's voice. You guys know the game in and out. You know exactly how these players that are on the field are thinking. So we expect you to be honest about your opinion, not sugarcoat and give us what, you know, the head honchos are thinking and what they're, you know, we know what they're thinking. Yeah. And it's unfortunate because we aren't talking about, you know, the Vikings giving Cris Carter another chance. This isn't that what's happening. This is Earl Thomas finally giving himself a chance and his family a chance. Like he owes that to himself. He doesn't owe, it's completely different. I feel like Cris Carter is like measuring the two when the Vikings gave him a second chance, he did owe them a lot. And this is completely different. Earl Thomas needs to finally put himself first, his family first, and continue to do so. I'm glad that the young players are going against what these commentators are saying, what these former players are saying, because there is a difference. There's a gap that needs to be closed, and unfortunately, they're not looking eye to eye like they should be.
Well put. In closing, follow the money, and then you will have your truth.
Facts.
Let us know your thoughts, comment section below. Subscribe to TYT Sports. You know what's my favorite song? You could ring my bell. So do it, why don't you? Ring the damn bell and download the TYT app. Available on Android and iOS.